go. All right, welcome to Ukulele Jazz Club, our last meeting of 2024. I know it's been a quite a journey, and several of you have been following me through this jazz excursion for months, years. It's been a while. It seems like it might have even been a late pandemic thing. It's all a blur to me. But welcome. It's good to see you. Hoping to have a little bit of show and tell today, where you show and you tell. But wanting to wrap things up and see first if there's any questions or if anybody's taken a look at that Charlie Christian solo over on Flying Home. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. You mastered it quickly and moved on, I'm guessing, yeah. Um, I would highly recommend just kicking the tires on that, a phrase at a time, and thinking about the chords, thinking about um, the shapes, why those notes might work, and just a true genius of improvisation. Really, basically the Charlie Parker of guitar, but before Charlie Parker. So he really had nothing to go on as a guitar player. Um, well, I want to see where that song is kind of landing for folks. How about the chords with that little? Raise your hand if you think you're capable of playing that chord progression. Yeah. Have you ever played a chord progression like that before, do you think?
Kevin, can you see me? I don't,
I cannot, but I hear you. I see your name.
I know it. I'm not sure why I'm not showing up. Oh, okay. I'll play with see if I get there.
I've had to say this before, and I say this with love. Take the tape off of your camera. I've had people that like tape up their cameras, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
um, yeah, yeah, it's an unusual, cool chord progression, kind of descending kind of thing. Similar to I think what's called an Andalusian cadence a little bit thing you could look up thing that I believe like Paul Simon's 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover is one variation of that, but I think Dire Straits like Sultans of Swing, Stray Cat Strut, all these kind of dun 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 kind of things. Um, yeah, interesting. Um, yeah, there's so much that I don't know if I really talked about this. My favorite part of that song is those two notes in E flat, which is just the that G flat and the C. A whole solo on the vibraphone of just, and it's still, I just have to accept and say, my brain isn't strong enough to go, what's the theory here? But the two middle strings at the sixth fret, eighth fret, just amazing. You know, you could play it there as well, or I guess you could play it there, but just amazing that you could get that much music out of it. I gotta hit a lot of buttons over here, and I'll just like throw it into the mix here. I'll I think I kind of ended that I think he, as I recall, Charlie Christian ended on that, and then Lionel Hampton just kind of goes to town on that. This is super slow, but the solo's so nice. He played it twice. It's just magic to me. Those two notes fit over the whole thing. Amazing. And it's further education that it's not the notes so much, the rhythms, and just finding these simple things. And when you get something that you don't have to move your fingers for, I feel like that is worth at least a couple bucks, cup of coffee, something like that, if not more, if you're really into music. As I was looking and thinking, at what we've done this semester from Moonlight in Vermont, kind of multiple looks at the nearness of you, Satin Doll, Milestones, and Flying Home. Once again, I say, this in my mind was, oh, I'm really going to condense things down. And I'm going, we could have done like two of those, and it would have been, we could have gotten even deeper into it all. I want to, I figure most of you know me by now and you've gotten used to me because I've worked with all of you for some time. But I know a lot of times, especially when I was taught some workshops for a group up in Canada recently, and just reminded me, it gave me the idea that a lot of people come to this and go, okay, I'm going to take this class and I'm going to take that class and da 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 da. But they're like, they just get whatever they get in the class. And then they move on to some other thing. And then they're like 4 years later going, why haven't I learned anything? Keep doing all these classes. And I just want to say that this is the introduction to the material. And my hope is that you keep playing it. And if you just want to pick one song, pick it. Oh, whoops, we lost Daryl. Now he's back. Okay. And I can tell you for myself that playing these songs for years, or playing hey Daryl, we can see you now.
Sure. Okay.
Playing any song long term, any good piece of music, will offer you new insights for your lifetime. That is just, there's no way around it. You can't and I see so many jazz greats. I see Bill Frisell anytime I can, and half the set's the same set every single time, and it's slightly different. Or there's just he could do, he probably has 30 sets of music he could play, but maybe it's the places that I see him. But he even has re-recorded songs multiple times with different ensembles, different vibes, different things. It's like all of this is kind of living and breathing, and what you know today and are bringing to this is not going to be the same. If we went back in time, 5 years ago, this might have been an impossibility for you. And you go forward a year or two, you may learn some new skills somewhere else that you can bring to this, or by continuing playing this, you get to the point where your hands know the music, and then something else can emerge inside you that comes out the instrument. And I think of all these weird things. The more I do this, and I swear I don't either. The more I think about it, the weirder it gets, or it's just I'm getting really weird. But nothing can come out of the ukulele that isn't in. It's not like you're just gonna manifest somebody else's sound somehow through technique or something. It is going to come from your whole being, how you hear it, how you feel it, how you talk. No two people have this exact same sense of swing. And that's one thing that is so cool about jazz, is that you could hear three great players play the same song together, and it's slightly different feels. And so it's not a static thing, it's a dynamic living thing. And I just want to emphasize that and allow you to take that with you, moving forward. And maybe I can get I'll see if I can create this. This would be so great. The Eucratic oath. Um, hmm, I think, I think there's. Yeah, wait a minute, I'm writing that one down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the Eucratic oath here is that you will continue playing at least one of these pieces throughout 2025. Can I get your full agreement on this? Yeah? Daryl's just talking to himself down there. What are you doing here, buddy? The Awesome. As
Uh,
will I. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Can I,
awesome.
can I,
Yeah.
well, so I think I have a hard time, unless it's a chord melody arrangement or something that is a complete piece on its own. I have a hard time, you know, sticking with it without it feeling um practicey, or I'm playing to the
Yeah.
to MP3, which is not the same. And I keep talking about my one buddy, and I can do things with him, and that's wonderful, but I don't have anybody else to play with. So unless it's a solo arrangement, i I am more likely to put it down, and I don't want to put it down because there's good stuff in there. Suggestions?
Yeah, and so it's a good point. I think it could be really different for everybody. And for some people, the practicey part is the hard part, and some people the musicy part is the hard part. And the practice, they just want to practice. And I've had people, and I think it's finding, for me, and this may be a little tangential, but isolating what to practice in a way that will make me better at whatever the thing is, or a skill that will transfer to everything. And then sometimes it's like, well, I've been practicing this E flat scale for 6 months, and no, nothing, got nothing. But finding ways in the making whatever you do play musical. And so that's a trick. And so I'll hear people, um, and sometimes in my groups, people are just nervous and we're getting together, and there's someone just like, and I want to scream because to be like, make it sound like music. Those are the notes in order. Turn them into music. And if you're kind of songwriterly, you might go, wow, I just made up a melody. I think there's something there. Um, but so Virginia, back to your question, your comment question. I'm still thinking of this. Part of my unconscious brain is rapidly cycling on this. Um, I know the answer, and this was so depressing to me when I got this answer to that at the end of my training with James Hill. The very last thing we had to do, like a big band arrangement of some song that he like started. He like did like four measures of, and there were like, I don't know, what, 12 more bars or something. And I had great fun with that. It was really cool. And then he said, or it was written on our assignment, if you want to continue doing this, learn how to make your own arrangements, or else you're going to be waiting for me to come up with another arrangement. And I do as much as I can with that, but they don't just it's not it's an art, it's not a science, and it's not like, oh well, okay, and the nearest to you there's a melody, here's the right chords, it's like, how does this lay out, how do I make this musical? It takes hours, and it takes days and weeks and months usually for me to come up with one chord melody that I'll go, I think it's there. It feels right. It goes somewhere. There's some variety. There's different little skills. It's playable but challenging. So,
That's a great answer for me personally.
okay, I could just shut up then.
You know,
Uh,
and I
uh,
and I and I did, your arranging class. It was a few
yeah, yeah.
sessions, and I mean, so that's a fine answer, for me. And it may not be exactly these tunes, but it might be some other ones. But that's good answer.
And so, and then the last thing I would throw in with that answer is you could take these arrangements and modify them or stretch them out, And this is where, sometimes, I think my business coach would be looking at me going, so let me get this straight. You've spent like 4 months on this thing that you taught for an hour, and I think that's not, a great idea. And this is like 45 seconds of music, it's like, but the possibilities within this are limitless. And to try messing around with some things. Another element of this that I haven't done, and I don't believe in any of the jazz thing, would be to take more like a choral or a even classical or just to just harmonize these melodies and just go, okay, let's go up a third, let's go down a third. Where does it change? And then go, well, but that chord has a flat five in it. Go, oh, well, then G flat, not G, whatever. You can learn a lot. You can apply a lot of theory in that way. And I'm not afraid. I've become not afraid. I've always like taught it was wrong, like to just play single notes as a soloist. I love it. And it's weird because it's so thin. But if you, there's, I wouldn't do like an hour of nothing but that. but I'm not afraid of that. And I see and hear a lot of players that are like, well, you can't do that. Like, it's like, well, no, you can do it. You know, you can do anything, but it takes a different thing to have a few single note things. And, you know, I could even just try to see something. Let me look at this nearness of view. You know, one thing, like right off the bat, if I wanted to stretch that out, and just playing around with the F major scale, you know, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, and just kind of looking at what I got here. And just playing around with that in some sort of way that people are like, what are we doing here? You know, and I like even finding some of the tritones in there, some of the sweet tones. You could just mess around with some sort of little intro. A great little device, and I'll like I said, I'll stop talking here shortly. But usually the last four bars are an awesome. Or the last two bars. You know, there's just play with it, and okay, I really, you know, I start to notice all my tendencies. Sorry, I you know, inflict you with them, but lastly, for the 15th time, listen to players, and some of the ones, you know, Bill Frisell has always been, I mean, I don't know, he's just on his own wavelength, completely, you know, his right hand does, plays like it's invisible, it's like liquid, and he probably has some chops, but for a jazz guitar legend, he has no chops, no speed, no, you know, maybe 40 years ago had a little bit, but that's never been his thing. But note choice, tone, feel, and it's just so grounded. And you know, the problem with him is I think he has 50, 60 albums. You know, I adapted his version of Shenandoah to ukulele. That's a nice place to start. So he does kind of jazz, Americana stuff. He does straight jazz stuff. Another guy I've been listening to that strangely was Bill's teacher in college, and he said he was so, you know, young and stupid that he never saw him play once in whatever what's the town in Fort Collins, Colorado, which is not a lot to do there. But Johnny Smith is another guy. He's a really great arranger. He was a country guitar player before a jazz guitar player, but just his chord melody stuff is tremendous. If you want to, is, you know, if you want to kind of go to the Michael Jordan of this, Ted Green is like, wow. Technically, I don't think there's ever been a better player. Harmonically, I don't think anybody has exceeded what he does. And how he arranges things with theory is just ungodly. It's hard to believe. And he was mostly just a teacher. He hardly played at all. But Barney Kessel is another. In most of this stuff was perfected in the 50s. Um, and Barney Kessel is really cool. He's got more playfulness to him, great swing feel, and often plays with the band. But um, trying to think of what the Bill Frisell. The other thing, he plays with pedals a lot, and it's nobody does what he. It's like a little symphony of weird. He'll just take one little phrase, and it's unbelievable. Really cool. Yeah, those are a few off the top of my head. You know, Joe Pass is another one. He's walking bass lines so much that doesn't quite make it onto the uke. It's a different thing. And then he's a guy with like crazy chops and is not afraid to use them, which to me makes it feel a little more distant. But those are some guitar players that can just, I think, when you hear that, it's building your vocabulary. Well, any questions with anything we worked on this semester? I'll call it. Um, okay, I'm going to flip the script. Okay, yeah, Lisa.
Could you go over a strategy on the Charlie Christian solo as far as doing the bend, getting the bend to sound?
Oh
Because when I
yeah.
do it, I just never get anything. Like
Okay.
measure, there's one in 29. I think there was another
Okay.
one
Thanks. Yeah. Uh,
in the solo.
am I looking at the right thing here? Um. Okay. Yeah. I have a different. Let me
He's
find it.
just going up half step from F and then down to E flat. If you can't
Okay.
find it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find it. I'm looking on the original version.
Um,
Okay. There it is. Yeah. Okay. Let me just get it in context a little bit and try to get my brain around it. Yeah. Okay. So I try not to, and I don't have the skills with all of the bending mechanism. This is so crazy. That is a thing called a pre-bend. And so bending before the note, but here's what I bet is going to be the ticket for you. If I'm just bending with one finger, yeah, and I like to use three fingers to get a bend like that. So all three fingers are pushing the string. But I'm bending before I play it. And that's called a pre-bend. And at least in my mind, you know, and I sometimes am way off. Let me get the tempo in this, like how I remember things and how they really are sometimes radically different. But that's part of it. It's kind of making up your own version of it. But and so the other thing with this, I'll get this more up to speed. clarinet can bend notes. And so playing with Benny Goodman, that's part of the sound. And um, that, oh, good Lord, where is this? There it is. Yeah. So putting it into context and up to speed, but that sounds more correct. And I might even put some vibrato on. But yeah. Um, does that help you? Does that
I'm even when you were doing that, I'm bending up with 3 fingers, and I'm not, as I'm letting it go, I'm not hearing the bend.
then you're not pushing hard enough on the
Okay.
string. So if I get right in here,
Yeah.
you know, this string is, the A string is where the E string was, for a
Hmm.
half step bend. It's almost impossible to get like a whole step is about as much as you can get
Okay,
on this.
that's
So
better.
yeah, and it's a thing, from guitar. I mean, guitar is really easy to bend notes, but comparatively, but yeah, I kind of have that skill for a while. Yeah, and is there another? There's another one later on, or earlier, or some.
I thought there was, but I'm only seeing the one on measure 29.
Yeah, yeah, and at the same time, if it wasn't there, it's not the worst thing in the world, to have this. Or you could slide, or just yeah, yeah, and all of those would be interpretive, but he bent it, yeah. Um, yeah, there's another little thing here that's really kind of cool. This is a thing I learned from Lyle Ritz, or he called this. It was a thing I would do, but this little triplety, it's an E flat chord, just B flat, E flat, G. In the regular song, it's measure 61. I bet it's measure 25 if you're just looking at the solo. But this just barring it, and and he does a slide there, so I kind of wanted to get that, but it'd be more efficient to play there versus that's kind of more fun though. But just that little that it's just an E flat chord. There's a lot you can do. You can use that in a lot of ways, and with the bar, you can control how much. It could be a percussion thing. A lot of different expression with that, and so it's like it's just more like seasoning, how much salt you want to put on that. Yeah, and it's just a phenomenally fun tune. Yeah, I got to play it again. Get another little jazz group or something. Um, yeah, Paul.
I have since we're talking about bends, a problem I have with bends pretty often especially when they bend a whole half step, is I'll get hung up on the adjacent string. And when the bend comes down, I'll accidentally pluck the string I was pushed up against with my left hand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to stop doing that, Paul.
I gotta cut my fingernails more often, I guess. But even when
Yeah,
they're cut
yeah.
short, I still have that issue.
It's, I'll say that, with, I'm looking at everybody, it looks like everybody's got fluorocarbon strings, they're just hard to bend. It's really a challenge. And so it's kind of out of, just the character of the instrument a little bit, to have that. But yeah, the bending, and I've done that. And so, like with an electric guitar, um, bending two or three notes and then getting stuck like under the string, like there's like all sorts of things can happen, or a callus kind of gets caught on. So
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, the perils of string bending. But it becomes a thing. I think the physicality of it, of exploring the angle that you're approaching it from, and what works for your fingers with your uke. And I think that there's likely a more fortunate angle geometrically. And then you find that, and then when you hear it, this is the thing I love about this, and I feel like I want to partner with a neuroscientist or something, because you hear it and then you go, oh, that's how I do it, and then your whole body changes when you do that thing, and it works every time. But you have to learn like all these things to incorporate that, or to incorporate these kind of deals. And that's why I really encourage more full-bodied embodiment, in playing, because we just get too frozen. Everything's at one angle, and you can't do all this stuff from the same angles. Um,
Can I make a comment,
yeah.
Kevin? This is this may be heresy, but if you look at this, you look at what I play here.
Uh huh.
That is not a tenor. That's not a standard ukulele. This is a baritone ukulele.
Uh huh.
With
Oh, I see where you're going. Yeah.
strings on it. And
Mm-hmm.
these puppies are really easy to bend. I tune it
Yeah.
just like I tune it just like a standard tuning, but it's real easy. It'll work. It's real easy to bend.
Yeah. Yeah, so like Albert King, the great blues guitar player, who, I don't know, it's kind of important, I guess. Played a Flying V, Gibson Flying V guitar, giant, heavy guitar. He was 6'7", huge person, and he left-handed and strung it right-handed with the lightest strings possible, tuned down, to two steps, two whole steps, four half, So he could just bend everything, but he was bending everything up, because the high, or everything down. Sorry, So you use the gravity. The high string is up here, like that. But part of the reason saying that is this guy's 6'7", huge, strong, just he's like a forklift driver or something, bulldozer operator or something like that before, blues guitarist, and he had to do that to bend well. So just saying, yeah, it can be tricky, but the tension is the whole deal. So if bending is really a thing you want to do, then that's something to explore. Yeah, for sure. Well, I wanted to, before we get to our show and tell here really quick, um, just go maybe a short reflection or two on what has been the biggest challenge and reward with this group of songs, and which song you want to keep alive for the rest of your life from this group that we took our Eucharistic oath. And I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go in reverse alphabetical order. Virginia, you're up.
Um, well, let's see. I'm not sure about uh challenges except just generally getting my fingers to do things like the particularly something like the Charlie Christian solo or things that are faster. You know, the ballads not so tough on the melody because there's all the room. And I love the ballads. I love knowing the lyrics. I think that informs how you express it, even if you're not singing them. And to me, that adds a whole layer of something to the expressiveness of it. So I want to keep going with those. But I don't think I was familiar with Flying Home, and it's just really super fun. So I want to figure out some way to keep on with that. So yeah, and I know that memorizing is what sets all this stuff free in your in your hands, you know, getting it, not having to look at the paper. And not to this is my supposed to be brief and I don't want to send you on a tangent either, but maybe before we leave, that notion of learning something from back to front, I don't know what you think about that, so that you're always playing into something that's more familiar. I find that I tend to learn a phrase, but then I come apart on connecting the phrases, you know, like I'm not as strong on that. But so I guess that's a challenge, I'll just say that. Okay.
Thank you. Val, talk to us.
Well, the biggest challenge is I don't get to spend as much time as I'd like. I'm in the legacy ensemble, and that takes so much time. And so so ukulele's become a bit of a have to when I like to do ukulele because it's a not have to. But I just love the stuff, the jazz stuff more than the blues stuff. It's just so much fun. This flying home when I was working on that, it's just a joy to do, and I love all the fancy chords. So I just it just makes me happy. So and it's a not have to. I can enjoy it totally.
Awesome. Oh, cool. Well, thank you. How about you, Sumiko?
Cute. Yeah, for me, the challenge, all the chords, there's a lot of new shapes for me. So I found that a challenge, but I also enjoyed adding some of those to the repertoire. So that's good. Spent a lot of time working on the Nearness of You for the Ukulele Joy 20, which was just yesterday. So I spent a lot of time on that one, but I haven't had much of a chance to work on Flying Home. I listened to your video and you know, listened to him do it on YouTube, but I want to get into that one.
Cool, cool. Paul.
So I kind of like Virginia was saying earlier, I find it easier to practice the chord melody songs, so it's easier for me to put off practicing stuff that feels like I need some other players to play with. But I have liked the learning chord shapes. That's been good for me. I hope that I will start sticking some of those jazzier chords and some non-jazzy music that I play. So that's been good. And I don't know when we learned this, but I learned it from you not so long ago. But one thing I'll definitely keep practicing and keep working on is Autumn Leaves. I really enjoyed that song.
Awesome. Cool. How about you, Lisa?
Well, same thing and not having enough time to spend on it. I had already known a chord melody arrangement of Nearness of You in a different key. So now looking at it, this is very interesting to me to still hear the same melody, but yet we're in a completely different key. So I'm kind of looking at how could I incorporate some of these together, maybe go between the two keys and maybe work on a solo in it, because the Nearness of You I've known for a long time. And I would really like to continue working on the Flying Home. That's, I really am interested in that one too. So.
Fun song. Oh man, now my understanding of the alphabet is getting
Uh-oh.
challenged. Daryl, you're next.
Well, my reason for taking all of these, going through all this thing is to get more into the harmony associated with whatever melody is I'm trying to play. So I really haven't spent a lot of time in really any of this on a lot of different melodies. I've got a bunch of melodies I play, and so for me, it's been really exciting in learning. I won't say learning, but coming in contact with all of these different chords and the rhythms associated with them and how they fit together, and try to work in around that melody. That's just fascinating to me how all of that works. I tell you, I think if I were 10 years younger, though, what I would do, those folks here, I don't think anybody's as old as I am. If I was 10 years younger, I would find uh, someone local like Paul, or some people that are local, and I would get together maybe 4 or 5 guys and really explore jazz and blues together. That would be just really exciting, I think.
Good idea. I need to put together a jazz and blues thing with a time machine so you could be in it.
I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got a couple days
That's
off over the
That,
holidays.
I would also like that get together, jazz and blues, or jazz or blues get together. That would be great.
Yeah. Yeah,
really,
yeah.
really, yeah.
All right. Well,
The
this is
idea,
where
the idea of having, I didn't really appreciate this the way I do now. Because I always thought of the rhythm players being just a guy. He's gonna cover. That's all he's gonna do. But not anymore. Not
Mhm.
anymore. No, no,
Yeah.
that's the heart and soul of this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Barbara, talk to us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, I also agree with so many people. I've really liked the ballads, and I do like to sing. So I've been singing the Pennies in a Stream, A Moonlight in Vermont a lot, listening to Frank Sinatra's version. Anyway, and also Nearness of You. But I've enjoyed learning those Mickey Bakers and
Mm.
thinking of them as almost like little songs, the way you've arranged them. And I was listening to someone kind of giving a lesson on guitar, these chords, these Mickey Baker chords. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Kevin worked hard to take the chords that were originally written for guitar and make them sound really good for ukulele. I'm like, wow, that was hard. Today, I was working on Silent Night, your arrangement.
Mm.
And I still work on Autumn Leaves. So I do like those. And again, I live in Illinois near Chicago, home of the Bears. And I don't have anyone to play with either. So as far as the solos, but anyway, that's what I have enjoyed, and I will take those away and work really hard on them.
Awesome. 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 Well, thank you. Yeah. Always great to hear these reflections. And yeah, we've come a long way. I totally spaced off the Mickey Baker stuff. Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a lot there. And especially for, players, that I know like Daryl and Paul, I could see that stuff applying to lots of stuff that you probably it's in your repertoire. Be really cool. Well, I've got a video from one of our own esteemed members that I was I would love to share with you, unless anybody is opposed, of a version of the nearness of you. I'm not even going to tell you who this is. You're just going to have to guess, and we'll start off just playing some music together. Let me see, share sound. Okay, I think I'm doing this correctly. All right. How about that, huh? Yeah. Very nice. I don't know who sent that. Yeah. I always forget that you've got a Kawaya, whatever. Those are such cool Japanese Martin copies that are like, I usually like them better than Martin's for some reason.
I
They're
like the sound of it a lot. It sounded really good.
yeah, it's great. Yeah, and the playing is great. I love your swing feel on it, and like I said, everyone has a different feel for these things. Um, Awesome. Thank you so much. And I know you've been frustrated by it seems like the inability of Zoom to recognize you as a musician in this situation. So thanks for sending that. Yeah, anybody else wanna play us a tune? Daryl, you're out. You're folding. Okay.
I'm folding. I'm
It's
folding.
like the poker championship kind of thing. Um, Paul, you got anything for us?
So, all right. So no, I get unless we'll hear
Okay.
Autumn Leaves again. But I have a. It's not something that you've taught us, but it's a song that I like, and to me it sounds jazzy. And if nobody else is standing up to play, then we've got some time. I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll put you we'll on the back burner for 1 second. What's the song?
Over the Rainbow.
Oh, nice. Yeah, 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 yeah. I've got an arrange. What key are you doing it in?
Hey,
In A. Interesting. Yeah.
I think it's
I
an
got
A.
one. I've got a version in F. I do. Val or Barb or Lisa? No? Okay. Well, Sumiko played The Nearness of You, as she mentioned yesterday. And also, I'll share this with the group for you. You can thank me later. That she wrote a contrafact to Rhythm Changes. Um, uh, Beautiful song that she sang yesterday, called Mr. Bluebird. And if I was going to make a request, it's kind of, I think, more like our summer class, or I don't know.
The summer class.
Yeah, but yeah, if what your choice.
I
And
that, but usually like you fill in the chords, so like I'm like,
okay, maybe we'll have to. You know what we should do? Next time you're over here, we should make a video and we could share it with the group.
yeah, I have a video. I don't know. Could I get you a video? Like, my husband took a picture of it, a video of it yesterday. I don't know if I send you a video, if you could get it.
Yeah, want to see what we could do. Yeah.
Hmm. Can I text it
Oh,
to you?
you know, it'd be easiest. I'll make you do all the work. Would be for you to upload it to YouTube, and then I could put that on the website for the
Okay, I
class.
can do that. Yeah, I don't know if I can. Can I play it like you just played that other one? If I can find it on my computer. I think it's on my phone. I don't know if it's on this computer. Let's see.
I don't. I'm at the edge of my technological skills.
Let me just see if there's like a quick like share something.
Wasn't it on the Facebook, that Facebook page, that Facebook group page that we had?
Oh,
Well,
yeah, let's put
yeah,
it there.
my Facebook got hacked, so I lost
The group,
access to it, and
the
I
group
haven't gone
password?
back to it. Yeah, I lost everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Sumiko just sent me something. I think I accepted
I
it.
just sent you a request to make me the presenter, and then maybe I can share my. I don't know if this is gonna
Yeah,
work.
yeah. Let's see.
Okay. Did you allow it?
I think I did, unless I was
Okay.
talking to Val and
And
hit the
I
wrong
can hear
button.
somewhere I should
Let
be
me
able to hear like
see.
share screen or something like
Um,
that. Apps new
Let me
room.
see if I can. Here, I'll hit make host. So
Okay.
yeah, I think you should be good. Well, maybe not.
Share. Share screens. Okay, yeah. Desktop one. I think that's my laptop. I've got two. Okay, yeah. I hit share. Now it wants me to allow Zoom to do this. Oh, it wants me to restart Zoom. I think this is going to be more of a project than
No worries. Yeah. Um,
was
can
the
you
other
make?
option. Oh, if I
Oh,
loaded it to YouTube.
if you upload it to YouTube and then you send me just the shared
Let me
link,
try that while you talk to other people.
then I
I'll
can
work on that.
add
Yeah,
it
okay.
to the page. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Yeah, well, Paul, why don't you play us somewhere over the rainbow and jazz it up for us?
You can tell me if this counts as jazz once I'm done. When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane beyond the railing, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why, tell me, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why oh why can't I?
Holy moly.
Definitely jazzy.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
amazing. Who did that arrangement?
It's mostly Dr. Uke, and I just a little bit of changes to suit myself.
Yeah, and then several of the 2/5 things that we've done over and over again are right there, and then you see like, oh, well, if that was your first exposure to that, it would be like a rude awakening. It would, but after you heard those, especially, and they're so oftentimes 2/5 kind of things. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a beautiful arrangement. And have you always been this great singer, and you're just hiding it from us, or just?
Well, I've sung for you before, but I guess I hit it pretty well.
Oh, that is beautiful. Yeah. No, yeah, that was, and it's hard with all those chords sometimes for me anyway to find the right notes and all of that. That's great. That's beautiful way to end this all. So we'll let Sumiko send me some stuff.
They have sent it in the direct message in Zoom. If
Okay,
you wrote it
okay.
right, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ifs here. You can try.
Holy
click-
moly, you're doing
Sure.
stuff really fast over here. Yeah, okay. Okay, hold on. Stop. Okay.
Google sent me some crochet kits to try
Now
out,
it's a
and
commercial
I've never used a
on,
kit like this before, so I'm really excited to see how it goes. Of
I'm
course,
not
I had to pick
sure
from.
what. Okay, I'm not sure what is happening here. There's no. Okay, there we go. Okay, hold on, people. I'm not sure if we can. Let's see if I change. No, we don't want that. By God, no. All right. Yeah, this is from yesterday at here in Austin, Texas.
Hey, Mr. Bluebird, tucked up alone in your nest at night. Hey, Mr. Bluebird, I've no more to say. I'm all cried out, no more tears today. Suddenly I can see through the trees. I can set you free.
Yeah. Holy moly.
Yeah, that was great.
Hold on, there's some video about the CIA. Okay. Yeah, lovely. It was so much fun to do that. We get to do more of that. Super cool. Writing lyrics over that form, and it's definitely kind of a first for me to talk about something like a contrafact, and then have a student like bring one to the table. Yeah. How did it feel playing that? And so Sumiko played the solos and sang. I was just over there playing chords along with the bass.
Yeah, how did it feel? It was triggering for me. I mean, you could hear how tight my voice was,
Ah,
but not as bad as it was previously. So I'm making progress. That's why I do these things. But yeah, it was good. It was fun to like put it together. It was a good project, and I'm glad that we worked on it from where it was. Like at the end of the last jazz class, I had just had like some of the lyrics, and like I was just strumming the chords, and it was a great project to try to flesh it out more into a full song.
yeah, yeah. Well, I sure had fun doing that. Yeah, well, and I've had fun being with all of you people. With all this music. I'm going to get to see a few of you in the new offering eclectic ukulele, and I consider myself lucky to be doing that. And that's going to be super cool. You'll be hearing from me after I, get through this ordeal called Christmas. But we'll be doing that, and lots going on. I still want to get Lisa, you got to come down here and play with us sometime. I'm having a weekend workshop in January, working on Towns Van Zandt song and a Barbara Lynn, who's kind of a unsung R&B hero from Texas, and mariachi music, which is the best thing for strumming. But yeah, Paul's gonna be there. It'll be fun. But you know where to find me. I'm here, and I can't thank you enough for showing up for this. And want to say hello to Michelle in Bulgaria. I should have shared the pictures she sent me. Oh my gosh! Wow. Makes me consider just moving to Bulgaria. Looks unbelievably scenic and beautiful. Well, enjoy the holidays, and I'll see you around campus in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin. It's been great.
Yeah, thank you, Daryl. Always good to see you. You still eating that Rudy's barbecue?
Uh, all the time.
That's your thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. All right, y'all. Bye bye.